A dashcam for bikes and motorbikes, or this might be a new direction for some action cameras? DDPAI are here with a Ranger model, and whether it is a good one or not, we're gonna find out soon enough, so let's inspect. How about this? And by the way, welcome to the channel. I'm Michael, the Tech Mishka. Over here we inspect a lot of cool and interesting tech. This is, in my opinion, a hybrid between a dash camera and an action camera. Very suitable for people who enjoy riding their bike or motorbike and want to record everything which happens in front of them, which sometimes can be kind of crazy. And full disclosure, I have received this unit by DDPAI for the purpose of this review. The video is sponsored by them, however I keep my right to expose all the strong, but also the weak sides of the product so that eventually we figure out how good the DDPAI Ranger performs in reality. The early bird price of DDPAI Ranger is less than $200, which according to them is close to twice less than the retail price. But based on the hundreds of Indiegogo campaigns that followed, I would count on a similar retail price as this one. Still, Ranger is more attractive buying choice than Cyclic's Fly 12 or a GoPro or whatever other action camera you can think of when it comes to price. Unboxing experience is above average. DDPAI makes sure to showcase the screenshots from the display, which reminds me of some of the old Garmin bike navigation systems. Here's the main module, rugged shape and materials. There are 3 buttons to control the power and one on each side masked behind this carbon fiber texture. There's a display at the top. It usually faces you. The lens is on the front side, and there's a small door which you can open from the rear, and it hosts a USB Type-C port. At the bottom, we can see the mounting mechanism and some connectors with pins. It's more of a quick release mount so that you can easily attach and detach to your bike or motorbike. The pins might be used by some of the accessories, such as this, a hardwire kit for motorbikes. Yeah, it's gonna make DDPAI Ranger act as most dash cameras inside a car, and it's gonna start capturing video as soon as you power the motorbike on. No parking mode implemented yet, though. There happen to be a lot of accessories you may take advantage of. Some are DDPAI made and sold, some you can borrow from your GoPro collection if you have such one. Because these are standard mounts, and tripods and selfie sticks, helmet mounts and similar are gonna be compatible if they can fit on your GoPro, if you're comfortable with the weight, because it is 191 grams, not to be ignored. Speaking of specifications, there are some pretty cool tech highlights to mention: a 1 by 2.8 inch image sensor, an inbuilt GPS, barometer, magnetometer, 6-axis gyroscope, altimeter, dual microphone with noise cancellation, Bluetooth, dual-band Wi-Fi, an inbuilt battery, a 1.3-inch colorful touch-based display, and even a very reasonable waterproof rating. This is usually where I take a moment to analyze some of these specifications because, well, tech specs are one thing, and how all of these specifications convert in real-life performance might be a totally different story. For instance, on their Indiegogo landing page, DDPAI make some very interesting statements. As a starter, they claim that battery life of the DDPAI Ranger is better than the DJI Osmo Action series and GoPro Hero series, which could be technically correct. However, they compare against 30 old generations. For instance, they point to GoPro Hero 10. For the record, right now we have GoPro Hero 12 as the current generation. And they mention DJI Osmo Action 2. And while battery life here might be slightly better, there is one very big difference between these two technologies, and it's the fact that the battery inside here stays for good. It's non-removable, non-replaceable. I know this is going to disturb some of you. As for image quality, and while we're going to start the analysis of the videos in just a moment, I couldn't find out what is the exact image sensor, quite unfortunately. We know the size is 1 by 2.8 inches. We know there's very wide-angle optics and pretty wide aperture. One thing I can say for sure, the display is pretty awesome and pretty functional. However, there's a bit of learning curve, and you better spend some minutes at the beginning in order to avoid any irritations while you actually start to use it. As for the setup, let me show you how to mount it. The first time setup takes some time, and I'd strongly suggest spending these 20 minutes to try out most of the features and do a few recordings so that you get to see how things work prior to going out for a ride. Because that feeling when you get back home and the reality is far away from your expectations is gonna be very upsetting. Mounting it is among the most important steps. The default clamp is quite well made and covers almost any size of diameter because it has a removable silicone pad. Remember, you have to tighten this really well. Then there's this screw which you have to tighten after you set the ideal position. I'd recommend using gloves or maybe even a wrench key to tighten it well, because if you don't, the camera may bend to a side as soon as you shake your bike a little. It is a good moment to make it clear that if you go for the universal aluminum tube clamp, you have to tighten even more, and I'd usually avoid such kind of long clamps for heavy cameras. Physical laws explain well why stability is not easy to be achieved in such conditions. The shorter it is, the more stable the camera is going to be. Recording can be started by pressing for a few seconds the button on the left. A short press is going to trigger a short recording, and you can choose the recording resolution. Most of the videos I showcase are in 4K resolution, 30 frames per second, so that you can see the maximum capacity of the video performance. At the same time, you can trigger a bike riding session. This will engage the nice sensors inside DDPAI Ranger and is going to give you generous information about speed, altitude, GPS coordinates and so on. You can easily swipe up and down in order to see the different values, or if you're with gloves, you can short press the right button in order to cycle between these widgets. It's pretty straightforward, very informative. The good news is that the display brightness is usually sufficient to be seen in daytime, even with a lot of sunshine, although this statement is kind of subjective given the fact it's wintertime over here, so the light behavior is much different to the summer. Well, with exception for a few tiny config options, this is how DDPAI Ranger operates with bikes. I would add e-bikes to electric scooters, pretty much anything that could be in motion, and will let you mount this module. For motorbikes, the interface is a bit different and still shows a lot of data. The Rosso is a smartphone app, great to review your riding data and get more track information. I only got to use the early beta version, which was lacking some of the functions. DDPAI's Dash Camera app is, in my opinion, one of the best out there, so I have high expectations about polishing the features for the Ranger and bringing in the necessary improvements. You can download the videos via USB cable as well, a Type-C connection is provided, and transfer speeds are around 20 megabytes per second. Looking at the video quality, I think it's good. Kind of DashCam tuned because it's a bit sharper than usual. Good colors, slightly oversaturated. Dynamic range is also on the good side if it is a bright day. In low light, performance is not as great because of the small size of the image sensor, but you can see that compared to a current generation of GoPro, it's alright in terms of recording details. The stabilization is also good, it's actually amazing. I mean, this can really challenge the hyper-smooth and the rock-steady technologies used by DJI and GoPro if DDPAI decide to release an action camera someday. Yeah, that's close to a fully functional action camera, and in case you wonder about the microphone quality, that's a sample recorded outdoors with some background noise around. Usually, when a company goes for a unique and innovative product, I try to be kind of soft about the downsides, but since DDPAI are on the market for about 10 years and advertise their more than 160 patents, I feel that they could have done a better job in some areas. The DDPAI Ranger doesn't offer GPS navigation or GPS tracks and waypoints, which is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. Hopefully, they're going to figure out how to implement such a function. No external microphone support, the battery is non-removable, the promise for 100 megabytes per second transfer speeds is totally wrong, and if you feel that I'm missing something, the comments below are a good place to let me know. In the end, excellent hardware for what it's worth, and obviously a lot of missed opportunities in terms of software, because DDPAI, given the hardware specifications and features inside, could have added a lot better software experience and a lot more functions, and I really hope that some of the features I just mentioned are something to be presented all the time. Still, if you're looking for a DVR for your motorbike or bike adventures, this can be a super great solution, very reliable and obviously with pretty decent image quality. If you're looking to get an action camera, yeah, you can think of this as being an action camera alternative, with some functional limitations though. In terms of smart sport features, it still lacks a lot of things, and I believe if DDPAI step up their game in terms of software, that can become a really well-polished and fantastic product. And now, it's your turn. Do you have any questions? Do you want to share what you think about DDPAI Ranger? Because the comments section below the video could be the right place to do it. I'll be super curious to read about your opinions there. And in case you want to order this, I was about to say dash camera, this motorcycle or biker's camera, check the video description for more information. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you care for more cool tech inspections, then think about subscribing. If this is a video that you enjoyed, give us a like. I'm the Tech Mishka. Gonna see you in the next one. Bye.